Hey you guys, what's happening? I'm Dee and you're at Divination with Dee, and I kind of wanted to talk about some things that I have been going through lately spiritually, where I kind of started to get off track, and so maybe you guys are going through the same thing, not realizing what it is, and I kind of wanted to give you some tips just to let you know if you are experiencing these same things, what it is and what you possibly could do, to help you through this process. So if you don't know anything about me, I've been kind of on my spiritual journey for some years now. I don't know if I've stated it on here. I may have an old video where I came out of Christianity and started on this path roughly actually around 2016, getting into fully delving into some other aspects of spirituality, and then coming out of Christianity in 2017. So 2016 actually was the year 9. We are in a year 9, and I personally am in my year 9. We're in the 9th month, and tomorrow is going to be the 9th day of the 9th month. A lot of endings. And let me just show y'all what I mean when I say that, today is my day 8. And so here's my chart. And you see it says daily right there. I'm in my day 8. But tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be my day 9. And then the year, as you can see, hopefully, I'm in my, can you see that? I'm in my 9th, I don't know if that's actually even coming up clear. I'm in my 9th year. And then I'm in my 9th month. A lot of things are 9 for me right now. Going through a lot of endings, and I wasn't fully understanding what was really going on with me until I ended up getting the flu, getting sick, and taking a look at some things that were happening spiritually. One of the things that you may experience, and I guess you could say is part of like these ascending process or awakening process, but then also looking at us still being in the energy of this full blood moon eclipse and what that signifies. You may experience some physical symptoms, not realizing that this is part of the ascension process, like the headaches, fatigue, body fatigue, insomnia. Very well could also have a change in your appetite. For me, dealing with a lot of physical pain, and this is like so crazy because I had really bad sciatic pain before going into the hospital and getting sick with the flu. And once I went through, going through everything that I was going through in there, my sciatic pain started to subside. And since I've come out of the hospital, I don't have it anymore. One of the things I can say that I was thinking about, and you really just have to be in tune with your body, and I believe I've stated this on a video before, getting into your senses. You know what? I didn't say it on this channel. I said it on my Ivy Vibes channel with my tarot. Getting into your five senses. What can you see? What can you smell? What can you taste? What can you touch? What can you hear? And what do those things signify to you? What do they mean? What are they telling you? So before I got sick, I was already thinking about wanting to detox my body. Well, that signal already was sent to my body for me to be open and vulnerable enough to get sick. And I don't even think that it was a thing of me getting the flu, but my body going through its own detoxification, purging process on its own. So that is one. Listen to your body when you are feeling a certain kind of thing or way about something. Go with it. Definitely go with it. The other thing is that I've been overworking, being just too consumed with material things because I'm, staying with someone, trying to gain a sense of stability. And I've been so focused on doing things for my credit repair, looking for a place, and I've been kind of going against my purpose, which is my North Node, which is in Pisces, which is supposed to be more being in the energy of going with the flow and allowing things to come to me naturally and just happen instead of trying to forcibly make things happen. Because of this, I believe I developed a kidney stone and a kidney infection. So now, we're dealing with the right side of my body, my right kidney, which is in that's the masculine side. I'm overworking. I'm in too much of, masculine energy and not allowing myself to be in this flow state. And I believe that is what caused the kidney infection. So I feel like there can always be a spiritual application for everything. I have a friend that I was talking to that kind of went through some of the number stuff with me, and I was already saying that I wanted to go through my number stuff, but didn't have my book to do it because I was already sensing that there was a lot of things that were happening to me that were tied to my numbers, and I needed to look at them and see what repeated cycles were still coming up for me. So she was able to do that for me and have me take a closer look at everything. And just like I figured, it all tied in. So one of the other things is I was really, really greatly desiring to be near water. If anybody knows me, I am a water baby. I love being by water. When I lived in New York, I lived 4 blocks away from the dock, and I could go there. I would go there before work, after work, and put my hands in the water to manifest. So again, trying to be more in this flow state, wanting to get into my North Node side of things. When I say that, you may feel a certain desire to do certain things. Don't rationalize it away, because that is your intuition trying to guide you through your awakening process. So I've been saying I want to get, more into nature. I want to start taking walks. What I would do is, before I got sick, I started just when I would go out to maybe go to the mail or go to my car, I would go outside barefoot and intentionally walk in the grass, just so that I could momentarily spend a little bit of time with my feet on the earth. Okay? Trying to get a sense of spirit back again, my spiritual practices, because they have been waning a lot. So that was one of the things that I feel kind of got me in the place of saying, all right, that's the start. But going in the hospital gave me time to reflect, and I said I want to start changing up some of my habits and doing things differently. Again, when you get these impressions to do certain things, go with it, because this is spirit trying to help you through this awakening ascension process. And your higher self knows what it is that you need to get through this. Knows what you need. Again, I have been desiring to be near water, and I'm like, I'm not near any water anywhere. So I said to myself, once I get out of the hospital, I'm going to start taking a walk, a short walk when I get off of work, or every day. I'm going to start getting up. There's a park that literally is a block away from me, right around the corner. And I said if I could just walk there, be out in nature for a little bit, doesn't even have to be no more than 15 minutes, whatever, and then come back, but slowly start to increase my time being back out in nature and allowing myself to be back in the sunlight, because we spend so much time indoors and without wearing shoes that have real leather. We're disconnected from the ground. We're disconnected from the earth. And I wanted to try to find a way to start reconnecting myself again with the earth. So earlier today when I got off work, I'm like, okay, this is going to be the first day that I'm going to do this. When I got off of work early this morning, I took a walk around the corner to the park. Y'all may see that video on another one of my channels. But I go around there and I'm like, okay, I'm here. It didn't take long. I'm trying to, build my leg muscles back up. And I know that it's also good for your sympathetic nervous system, just getting out and walking. I'm trying to stir all this stuff back up, get that sun hitting my, forehead. And so I get there and I start to walk over to where the bench is, and I'm like, it stinks over here. Like, what? Why does it smell? And again, paying attention to your senses. And so I'm sniffing. I'm like, it smells swampy, like damp. Why does it smell like that? So I'm like, let me just kind of see. And I'm like, it looks like it's a bit of a dip, over on the side where the trees are. And I've never been over to the trees. I've been to this park a few times, and I've never gone all the way over to where the trees are. Lo and behold, as I go over down into where the trees are, the smell subsides, but I notice that there is a brook, a little creek, water back there. When I tell you, Spirit will lead you and give you what it is that you need. I need to be near water, and especially during this time with the moon, I like to use water to manifest. And with this moon, because we're in a full moon of releasing, I like to manifest and I like to release. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I go down and I'm like, how crazy is this that I've been saying that I really, really wish more and more as the days were going on that I wanted to be near water. And I got led through just saying that I want to start taking a walk around to this park every day, that I got led right to that there was a creek back there. And so now I can actually go down, and it's, shallow enough that I can do some work back there. I can release some things in there. I can manifest some things, with the water, put my hands in the water and do what I've been used to doing for so long, and get reconnected and back in touch with spirit and my higher self the way that I've been desiring to, because I've been feeling so disconnected. Again, your appetite, let me just say this, because I mentioned your appetite may change. So I've been also desiring to eat lighter and to want to get away from eating the chicken. I don't hardly eat chicken as it is now, but something was saying, we really just want to eat lighter because I want to get back into this place of being able to astral travel, allowing myself to do it, because I've been stopping myself for a long time. Building my muscle for it back up again. So before I went into the hospital, the last day that I ate was that Tuesday. Wednesday I slept all day, but Thursday I started to come down with, the symptoms of the flu. And then Sunday I went into the hospital. Now all those days from that Tuesday I hadn't eaten anything. So let's say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't eat anything until that Monday. So that's 6 days. My body purged. I was able to fast. And not only did I do that, when I did eat something, all I ate was fruit and broth for the first day and a half. And I've really been, again, saying that I need to eat healthier. I want to get back into, my light body. And so just having the desire to want to change my diet, slowly starting to do that again now. And I've also noticed that I feel a bit better. My mind feels a bit clear. I'm really trying to do some things to change things. So when you feel that desire to, this was one of the first things that happened to me when I was younger, when I was like 10, and I had my first awakening experience. My appetite changed, and I asked my mom if I could be vegetarian. I no longer desired to have meat. So I see that I'm starting to go through that same process all over again, and having a strong desire to be back out in nature, which I was spending a lot of time out in nature, laying in the grass, being in touch with the earth, allowing the sun to just, beam on me. And it's like that same thing is happening. And after all these things happened, I then unintentionally began to astral project or astral travel. The difference this time is I'm wanting to do it, like forcibly trying to do it so that I can get back into a state of astral traveling again. And I got my mugwort and my blue lotus and made a tea with it, and they're very sweet. When I do my tea, I put it in a little tea ball, and I don't put no honey in it, no sugar. Honestly, for me, you don't need it. Mugwort is a pretty subtle, bland, but sweet tasting herb. And the same thing with the blue lotus. So I say, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I want to start to build this up in my system. So now what I'm doing is, after I take my walk, which is what I did this morning, I have a big cup of tea of that, the mugwort and the blue lotus, and start to build that up in my system so that I can increase my psychic awareness and abilities, and ability to have that spiritual connection. So if you are, experiencing the lightheadedness, that's part of the process. The changing your appetite, the desire to get out, possibly even feeling fatigued, because I know that before I went to the hospital, I was feeling really fatigued. And this is the thing, because I was doing so much, I was in my masculine energy. Now I've learned to kind of, again, change up my routine and get more into spending more time in the morning meditating, but doing it differently than what I was doing before. And I'm doing this holding on and releasing process where I clench my fist really tight and I state what I'm holding on to, and then I open my hands and then I state what I'm releasing. So an example of this is, I might say, I hold on to the fear of feeling a sense of instability right now, but I release the knowing of how I will gain the stability and leave that process open to Spirit and the universe to guide me in the direction that will bring me what I need. So that's what I'm doing. And I say at least 5 or 6 statements like that. And I do the clenching and then releasing, clenching and releasing. As more of a way of being conscious and aware, and then feeling it tangibly in my body by doing the clenching. It makes it more real, and then it also is doing something to my subconscious mind, but allowing me to have that time to think about it just for that period of time, and then letting it go and staying open to how the universe is going to flow. Because again, I'm supposed to be in my North Node, which is my Pisces, which is more of understanding how things will just mysteriously happen for me, and I don't always have to know the why or how. Just believing. I'm supposed to be more in my faith-based attributes. And so this is, what's been working for me. But finding a meditative practice that may work for you may really help. And then, I do a grounding meditation as soon as I get up in the morning. I put my feet on the ground and I take 5 deep breaths. And when I breathe in, I state that I am safe at this moment. And then when I release the breath, I say, and I am here. And I'm just doing things momentarily. Like I said, I don't want to dwell on anything all throughout the day, because that takes away from the flow of things, of how I should be operating. But like I said, you may be experiencing some of these same things: the lightheadedness or the headaches, the fatigue, the change in the diet, the desire to be out in nature more, even experiencing some physical things that are going on in your body. These are all part of that ascension process, but Spirit trying to tell you, things that you need to do and pay attention to in order for you to ascend and get to that next level. So it's taken a minute for me because, like I said, I've stepped away from doing a lot of things that I really should be practicing on a daily, simply because I have not felt the most comfortable in my living quarters of where I stay. And I've refocused, on the tangible things, my schoolwork and coming to work, and instead of spiritual. So there's been an imbalance, and my body has shown that there's been an imbalance by the illness that, I obtained. So now I'm bringing things back into harmony, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how things develop. Being okay with not knowing how. And it's so crazy because the thing that kept coming to my mind was this cartoon that I let the kids, I love watching this cartoon called Joseph and many color coat, something like that. And there's a song that he sings in there where when he gets locked up, by Potiphar's wife after she accuses him, and he's, in jail for a time. And the song that he sings in the cartoon is, you know better than I, you need to know why. I'll take what answers you supply, 'cause you know better than I. Please do not mind my voice. I'm tired as hell right now. But it's just that part of the song came to my mind where it's just thinking about releasing, and not always having the answers, and not always feeling like I have to be the one to figure everything out, and just allow spirit to work, allow the universe to bring things into fruition for me. And there were some things that kept coming, other things that came to my mind, like when I first moved to New York. I didn't really think about how I was going to get a job. I got a job through association from someone at church when I was in church, and 2 weeks after moving to New York, ended up getting a job. Was there for 4 years. When that job came to an end, through association of someone else at work, and I didn't even look. I talked about what had happened to someone at church, and they called in a favor for someone that they needed for a job at the state. And 2 weeks after getting laid off at that job, ended up getting the other job working for the state. I also think about, again, this is just being in the flow and not trying to figure out every last detail, but just having the faith. When my daughter was real little, when I was married, we were facing an eviction, and I was pregnant, and my husband at the time did not want me to tell anybody what was going on, but I was like, fuck that. I ended up telling a guy that I knew at church that drove cabs. We would talk. We were pretty close. He ended up calling this lady that lived down south, that had a house that was on Kershaw Avenue in Philadelphia when we lived in Philly. And she intentionally took her house off the market for us for 3 months and allowed us to stay there rent-free for 3 months. And actually was giving us the offer to buy the house, but because he felt like it wasn't good enough, he didn't want to do it, and I should have taken her up on that offer. However, I didn't feel like I could because I wasn't working. Just had, not just got pregnant, but not long after being there, ended up having a baby, having my youngest son. So I didn't worry about how things were going to happen. I just had faith and knew that things were going to work out, and it's pretty much the situation that I'm in, right now, needing a place, but not really wanting to work overtime because I've pretty much done all that. Even when it comes to having a job, I want to be in the area where I'm by the water, where I'm by my friends, and just want to be in a better position. And now I'm just feeling like I'm not going to force anything anymore. I'm trying to get back into listening to spirit. And so, again, I can see things already starting to happen and go in that direction for me because, one, I was saying to myself that I wanted to start getting back out in nature. I wanted to be near water. Well, the first step was taking that walk and then being in the park. And after being in the park, seeing that there was a stream of water back there that I never noticed before in all the time that I've been here for like 8 months now, going on 9 months. And just allowing myself to be led, and things already starting to open up for me. So be encouraged, for whoever's going through, different things, trying to figure out this process. Some things are not meant for you to figure out. It's just meant for you to believe. That's it. It's just meant for you to believe. When we put our faith out there, the universe already knows how to bless us and give us uh, what it is that we need. We just have to be in the energy of being willing to receive whatever way that it comes instead of trying to control everything. So that's a message for me. Anyway, hopefully this, got somebody thinking or help. If you're going through, again, these symptoms and having these things happen, you can pay attention to them and figure out, okay, this is probably what it is. Even if you are, insomnia, having problems sleeping, that is part of the ascension process, and it's just doing some things beforehand where you're changing things up to make things easier for you. So like myself, when I was in the hospital for those 4 days, I probably watched TV like 10 minutes. And so what I've been doing is now being more intentional about, as soon as I wake up, not turning on the TV, not jumping on my phone, before I go to bed, going to sleep without like at least 2 to 3 hours before going to sleep, not watching anything, not even turning the TV on to listen to the music. And if I do listen to the music, like my frequency music, I'm feeling like I want to go back to doing what I used to do, which is listening to classical music. And classical music is already attuned to 432 hertz. So I'm trying to really pay attention to things that I used to do that I need to do that will put me back in a place of feeling more connected to spirit. But it's just little things here and there that need to be tweaked. And if you don't get in the habit of listening to those nudges, your intuition, now you're going to have a very hard time as listening to your intuition, following it and trusting it as time goes on, because the energy that's changing is just getting heavier and heavier. And either you're going to be able to go along with the process, or you're going to get caught out there, and it's going to be very hard for you, very challenging for you to keep up with it physically. So that is it, my loves. I will see you guys on the next one. And until then, be well.